what's happening? Today it is Josh here with another automation video for you. And today what we're going to talk about is we're going to show you how you can tag and score your contacts, especially in the affiliate marketing space. This is really good because what you can do is you can score your contacts in a way of, let's say, for example, like engaged or not engaged, or maybe they are a good lead versus a cold lead, warm versus cold. Either way you want to spin it, you can do that. And what I want to show you today is how you can set that up so that way you don't have to touch it at all. You do it one time and then you just let it go. Just hands off, let it go, and you'll be able to just run with it and just let it automatically score and tag your contacts as they come through. Now, this is also really good for list segmentation. So let's say, for example, you are really paying attention to open rates, or you're paying attention to click rates, or whatever the case may be. You can actually use this as a way to segment your list. So you can tag these contacts, and let's say you can say that, is clicking or isn't clicking, whatever the way you want to do it. And that allows you to segment that list and reach out to those people that maybe opened an email but haven't clicked. Or you could set it up to, only reach out to your engaged people and kind of leave your unengaged people on the wayside for certain things. Maybe you're doing a launch or whatever the case may be. So regardless of what it is, this is going to help your business. It's going to help save up a bunch of your time. And so that way you don't have to continue to do this stuff manually. And for now, I'm going to take my camera away and we'll get right to it. So here what you see is just the automations page. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you've probably seen this before. We've gone through the list cleaning and the, moving your contacts between lists already. And so what I'm going to do is, now you can see I have this purchase join one. I don't use it all that much. So either way, we're going to go create workflow. And if you don't know how to get here, just up on the top, just click on this little 9 dots or what I call a waffle and go to automation. And we're going to go create workflow. And I'm going to make this easy because there's a lot of people out there that aren't really sure like where to start, right? So if you're not sure where to start and you're not really comfortable doing the build from scratch, you can start with this one here, affiliate marketing. You can start with this one here where it says scoring affiliate contacts. And the great thing about this is it allows you to have the starting point, and then from there you can actually just build off of it. So I'm going to bring this up and show you how it starts, and then we'll go through and do the custom build. And so when you select that automation here, you'll see this is a pretty simple deal, right? They subscribe to any list via any method. And then it says when any newsletter is opened, if they open it, adds 2 scoring points. And after 1 day, if they don't open it, subtract 1. So now here's the thing about this, right? Is this is set to run multiple times. So let's say somebody opens up your newsletter 5 times, okay? Well, every time they open it, it's going to take them here, add 2 scoring points, and then go back up. If they open it up again the next day, maybe they wanted to read more, it adds another 2 points and then brings it back, right? So this is a great way to track when people are doing things within your system. And then from there, you can basically tag them as engaged or unengaged, right? And so instead of building off of this, I'm going to show you how to build it from scratch. But if you want to just start off of this, you can. But I want to show you exactly how all of these are picked. So you can literally just follow along and do that. So I'm going to exit without saving. So that means it doesn't start anything for me. And then we're going to go back to create workflow, and we're going to choose build from scratch. So you'll see, just like other ones, it's going to bring you up here. So we're going to do scoring and tagging. And then we're just going to say for subscribes is the first one, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to subscribe to any list via any method. And then we're going to add elements, and we're going to say message opened. It depends on how you want to do this, right? If you're just tracking newsletters opens and you don't care about autoresponders or anything like that, then don't worry about this. But for affiliate marketers, we care who's engaged and who's not, and we really want to know who's opening any of our emails because they might cycle through different lists and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say any message we're going to run multiple times, and we're going to say after some time a day is pretty good, right? If they don't open after, within a day, within 24 hours, then you've got this, negative option, which it's a red X, but it's just basically saying you didn't do this within a day, so we're going to subtract a point. And if they go back and open it the next day, well, they gain 2 points. So they're ahead of where they were anyways. So how do we do that? We go down to the score option, right? So you want to do actions, okay? Now here's a confusion that people get. There's conditions and then there's actions. There's a score given and then there's score. Don't confuse those two. Otherwise, you're not going to get what you want. So we're going to go down to score and we're going to grab a couple of these. So we're going to go down to score here as well. And we're going to connect these up like this. And for this one, we're going to say add points and we'll just do 2 points. I like two points, and then here we're going to do subtract points and do 1. So then here's what we'll do, right? We'll say yellow because it's a star, and then we'll say red because we're subtracting points. Okay, so now we could just leave it right here. We could just say, hey, do this, right? But we're going to go a step further. We're going to take a score given. So this is where we use this one. And we're going to say, not wait until, but we're going to say wait until score is greater than, and then we're going to say 50, okay? Now, some people say, well, that's a lot, Josh. Well, you know what? If you want your really engaged people to be segmented out, then what you want to do is you want to truly, and I mean this, truly make them work for it, okay? I don't want just somebody who opens one email and never opens another one to be put on an engaged list. So you think about it, 2 points at a time, that's 25 actions they take, right? And so what we're going to do is we're not going to say that they're, it's bad because they're going to be listed as unengaged, right? So we're going to say, after some time, wait 1 day. And if it shows that their score is greater than 50, then let's go ahead and, give them the option to be unengaged. Now, you could do the 1 day thing. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say 0 days, and then I'm going to say 30 minutes. If the score is not greater than 50, or if it is greater than 50, then what we're going to do is we're going to say tag, right? So we're going to go down here, assign the tag. We're going to click engaged. And then we're going to go back up to when any message is opened, okay? So here's what we've got so far. Subscribe. When any message is opened, add 2 points, or wait a day, and if it doesn't get opened, then subtract 1 point. Wait 30 minutes to check if the score is greater than 50. If the score is not greater than 50, and we're going to say run multiple times on this as well, when the score is not greater than 50, then, or what it is, do engaged, and when it's not, then we're going to come over here and do this tag, and we're going to say, assign the tag, unengaged. Now, you might be asking yourself, so if you wait 30 minutes and then their score doesn't equal 50, does this mean that new people on their first day will be listed as unengaged? And the answer to that, yes. Yes, they will. Now, why is that? Okay. Typically, it takes a number of actions for people to be listed as engaged, okay? But it can take the same amount of actions for people to be listed as unengaged. Now, this will potentially cause some interesting scenarios within your platform, but give it a month and this will easily turn itself around. You figure in a month, you'll know who all your engaged people are because they've opened pretty much every email from you and they're easily 60, 70, 80 points, no problem. Versus the other people who are sitting at 15, 20, they've maybe opened 5 or 10 of your emails, if that. So that's what I look at, right? Is what do I consider engaged? So if you're not sending every day, then maybe 50 is too high, right? Maybe you drop that down to 20, okay? Maybe you're sending an email every other day, so you drop that down enough to be able to hey, this makes more sense. However you want to do it, that's great, okay? So here's your automation, right? This is just a simple automation. This would run automatically. It'll score them. It'll wait to check their score. It'll say you're either engaged or unengaged, and it goes and starts over. And it does that multiple times If you send out 3 emails in a day, it's going to check them 3 emails in a day. And it's going to check, have you opened any messages? Once they open it, it doesn't wait the rest of the day. It just scores them, comes down here, checks until if the score is greater than 20. If it is, it assigns the tag and moves up. And then here's the other thing you can do too, right? So in the event that you're going to assign this tag, if your score is greater than 20, now you can have multiple tags on people. So here's what I would recommend doing is if you are going to run this way, maybe instead of automatically having them come in here and go back up, maybe you do a different thing and you say tag, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a second one, right? So this is where you can make sure that you're not screwing up your segmentation. And I say that with utmost respect. But anyways, so we're actually not going to assign a tag. We're going to remove a tag. So if they get set up as engaged, we're going to remove the tag unengaged. If they're set up as unengaged, we're going to remove the tag engaged, right? So now it's a little bit more robust. So anyways, this is what we've got as a nice flow. You can run this through your contacts and it works out wonderfully. Now, I'm going to add to this a little bit. And this is where the fun begins. Okay. Is opens the only thing you consider engagement? For me, absolutely not. I also track my clicks. So one of the things that we can do is we can try to add in clicks. Now I'm going to tell you that I'd love to be able to add in the click tracking right in here. But here's what's going to be really difficult is the only way that we can add that in, because we aren't able to just have contacts go into 2 different areas, is we have to create another automation. But here's what's really cool about this is when you set up these automations, you have the opportunity to reuse them. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to save this one. Okay. And we're just going to say, save and exit. We're not going to publish. We're just say save and exit. So you can see that I'll have this scoring and tagging right here. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to duplicate, right? So we're not editing. We're going to duplicate this one, and it's going to bring us in, and it's going to bring it up here. And I'm just going to change. If you go up to the little settings icon up here, you have the ability to change the name. So we're going to say scoring and tagging, and then say clicks. Okay, and we're going to say okay. Now we've got the same, basically the same structure, and we're going to leave everything the same. Super, super, super pro tip, right? Don't change anything except this one thing right here. Delete this guy. Go over here to the right to the elements and do link clicked. Okay. So now, same thing we did before. Remember, we don't want just newsletters. We want everything. So we're going to connect everything the same way. We're going to go over here and say any message. We're going to say run multiple times. And we're going to connect these guys back up here like this. That's it. Literally, that's it. So now what I have is 2 automations, one that's tracking all of my opens and one that's tracking all of my clicks. And every time someone clicks or opens, they're going to be given 2 points. And if they don't click or open within a day, and remember, that's the default is a day. So you want to leave that day on there because you want this no option to be here. See where it says, if you say, when to assume the condition wasn't met, and you say never, and it disables the if no connection. It doesn't, here's the thing about GetResponse. It doesn't gray this out. It just doesn't actually do anything. So you could connect all you want to that and it wouldn't do anything. So what you have to do is you have to actually tell it, I want you to wait for this 1 day. And then from there, add 2 points. If they do it, it'll automatically add 2 points. It waits a day for the no option. So it doesn't wait a day to give them a point. It just says when to assume the condition wasn't met. 1 day, boom, it's gone. And so, and then what I'm going to do too is, you can color code. So I like color coding. So we can say when any link is clicked, it's purple. And then when the score is greater than 20. So that way you have all this stuff, and then tags can be this other color. So that's it. So now I'm going to go back to the automation so you can see this. So we have 2 automations now. We have this one here, that's the scoring and tagging. And then we have the scoring and tagging for clicks. And I could even go in, if I want to make sure that they're named appropriately, I can go in here, I can go to the settings, and I can say scoring and tagging opens. And now when I save and exit this, it's going to show opens and clicks. So now I know I've got two different automations here, one that's doing opens, one that's doing clicks, and anybody who shows up as unengaged means they haven't met that condition. So if I started these today, then what I would have to do is I would have to wait probably, I send emails about every other day, sometimes every day. So I'd have to wait about probably 20 to 30 days before I would know for sure that this is the thing, right? So that this is working and that it's, properly tagging them. So you can see here, we've got these two automations here. And I'm going to go back into the clicks one. I know I did it in opens, but in clicks, just so that way you can make sure that it's all done because we duplicated it. But make sure these run multiple times, right? You always want to check all these, make sure they run multiple times. Oh, so here, we want to make sure this runs multiple times. See, I missed one. And the reason we want to do that is because let's say someone comes through here and they get tagged with engaged and then they remove the unengaged tag. And then they go back through here and they need to be set to unengaged, but it's not set to run multiple times. It may not re-engage them or re-unengage them the next time around that they actually meet one of those conditions. It may go, oh, you already went through this. You don't need to do this again. So always make sure you say run multiple times if you want them to loop through and go through all of these. You only need to do that for all the ones that are underneath the subscribe. You don't have the option for subscribe. So any of these down here or wherever they loop back to. So for example, if you looped back to a different area in between the link click and here, then obviously you would want to do that. So, and it's easy to clean up. You can see that GetResponse is pretty quick. So you can go in here. I can go back to opens. You just click on it. It'll open it up. And then I can go make sure that these are set to run multiple times. And you can see it just clicks, right? Just go in here, boom, boom, get it done. Double check the rest of them. They're all good. And save and exit. And there you go. So when you're ready, once you have these automations done, when you're ready, just come in here and just flip these right. So you can see these ones are published. They're running. You should be good to go. Let me know if you have any questions. If you liked this information, subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up on the video. And if you have ideas for what you want me to do within GetResponse or maybe other areas of digital marketing, feel free to drop them down below. I'm more than happy to try to do what I can to give you guys as much information as possible to help you move forward. So that's all for me today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next video.